Welcome back to Lawmakers. We're going to take time now to talk about aerial technology, redefining our lives through drones and more. The company VSI Aerial describes using drones in Georgia for public safety, for agriculture, inspections, urban planning, and exterior cleaning, such as roof and window washing. And then there's the growth in urban transport, small vehicles flying from one part of the state to the other. All of it needs regulation. And joining us are two lawmakers moving that forward. Republican Representative Todd Jones of South Forsyth, and he chairs the House Committee on Technology and Infrastructure Innovation. Also here is Republican Representative David Clark of Beaufort, who is Vice Chair of Defense and Veterans Affairs. Welcome to Lawmakers. Chairman Jones, we're going to start with you. So we had drone technology, a bill actually passed last week to restrict how drones are used at mass gatherings. That was HB 58. So talk a little bit about Representative Gary Richardson's bill.
Sure, that's a presumptive bill. We wanted to make sure, in terms of when we're putting together a large group of people, we wanted to make sure that it's safe. We want to make sure that no one is using drones for any type of inappropriate purpose. May it be terror events, may it be, I'll say, videoing it when you're not supposed to be. You name it. We want to make sure that when people come together in Georgia, that they know that they're safe not just on the ground, but they're also safe in the sky.
Yeah, and that's one area people probably hadn't thought about. These drones are out there, and then we have these events, and so this actually defines exactly who can have the drones and where they can be, how close to people.
100%. We wanted to say, look, you need to be an FAA operator, and the drone needs to be FAA certified. And we're saying that there's going to be a 400-foot buffer within, meaning horizontally, and a 400-foot buffer above. Above 400 feet, the FAA takes over. And then on top of that, the FAA and the state of Georgia will work together on what are called temporary no-fly zones. So this is going to put I think it puts Georgia in a really good position when it comes to mass events and how drones will be legislated there.
Temporary no-fly zones for just any event that comes up where a lot of people are involved.
That's correct.
Yeah. So let's turn to, you have a drone bill too, HB 205, and this one deals more with homeland security issues, and it's making sure that Georgia has an approved list of drones. So talk about why this is important, first of all.
Yeah, I think first of all, it's just a huge national security problem and a risk that's going on. We know from at the federal government, CISA, the FBI, and the DoD, Department of Defense, they've said that it's a national security risk with the drones we have globally right now, because about 90% of the market is controlled by DJI and Autel, which is built in China and Chinese controlled. And we know that data is being able to be stored and transmitted. And we know with the Chinese government, the government demands that these companies give them the details and the data and keeping them updated with those companies. And so it's a national security risk with these drones that we have being used by our federal government and state government of them transmitting that data back.
So having an approved list,
Yep.
talk about what that means and what that list, who decides and who will be on that list.
So GEMA here in Georgia and Homeland Security Agency here in Georgia will put together a list by December 1, 2025. And then in 2028, 1st of January, that list will go into effect. And after that, there will be an approved list of drones that our Georgia agencies can use and operate those drones.
I think most people think when they think of the drones now that you can just go out and buy them and they should be able to do whatever they want. But that isn't the case. And it's dangerous, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you are a hobbyist, by all means, as long as you're line of sight and you can still see your drone, we're probably going to be okay. But once you go not line of sight, we need to make sure that you have the proper certification and operation. We don't want that drone landing somewhere where it's not supposed to land, for instance, on someone's head or in someone's pool or in someone's house, etc. So we need to be very, I'll say, prescriptive in terms of how it is that we're going to legislate and how drones are going to be worked.
And you had a lot of support when you brought this bill to the floor.
I did overwhelming support. I think it had one no vote. Besides that, it was unanimous. Besides that one no vote. And I think people realizing with this war in Ukraine that's going on, you have about 100,000 drones on the Russian side and the Ukrainian side a month going at each other. And so I think this is waking everybody up to understanding that drones can be great, and they are great, and we use them in a lot of good ways, but also we need to be looking at how they can be used in a bad way also. And so that's what House Bill 205 tackled, part of the problem.
And a few months ago, we heard in the New Jersey area, people were concerned about drones. They weren't sure where they were coming from. So this helps in terms of protection?
It definitely does. A big step forward, and it gives Georgia a voice with the federal government of collaborating, working together, because it's not just the federal government taking the lead. States need to step up also. And so this is a huge step forward. Also, we added a 3-year time for these Georgia agencies to get in compliance. They would know the list comes out, and the average lifespan of a drone is about 3 years. So I kind of was thinking also, there's a lot of agencies who have spent a lot of money on these drones. So it gives that 3-year window, and it lets the federal government knows we're working with them hand in hand on behalf of national security.
I was amazed to think of all the different agencies, thinking about the agriculture, the film industry, all the different places that are using this. So it's good that you're getting a handle on it. But